Hello, Lego Master Cole 53 here, along with Free Video 2000.
Hello.
And we have an extremely special guest today, Ben Diskin, the voice of so many lovable characters such as Wack 47, Morley, number 1 and number 2 from the Codename Kid Next Door, and Stitch.
Hey, how's it going?
We're all doing great. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, thanks so much for coming.
My pleasure.
So yeah, Caleb, would you like to start with your first question?
My first question, yes. My first question is, do you remember saying any lines as Wack 47 that did not make it into the final production?
Oh yeah, there was one. It was just nothing but swear words. I don't know what they were thinking.
Oh, I
I
wish that.
just, I just no. No. I mean, just sort of some very basic edits to lines. But I mean, really, nothing gets changed too much once we're actually at the recording point. I think that would be more like during the actual writing of the show would be when they start pulling things and changing things. For the most part, though, no, everything is exactly the way they intended it to be.
Oh, with Wack, that'd be easier than most characters because he doesn't have mouth movements.
That's very true. Yeah, the ADR was pretty straightforward. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's where we come in and we record over pre-existing animation. So meaning they've already animated it, we got to change some stuff. Maybe clarify a few things, like add in a little bit here to explain what's happening on the screen if it's not perfectly obvious. But yeah, with Wack, it's just you can make him say whatever you want. He doesn't even have like little flashing lights over his face that like represent a mouth or anything like that.
Okay, Miles, you want to ask your next question?
Yeah. So my question is, which character do you like better, Wack 47 or Morley?
Ooh, I think I like Morley more. I had fun with doing Wack. I thought it was a really cool thing, but playing the bad guy is always awesome. So, yeah, if push came to shove, probably. But I think I like Wack more though than Morley.
Awesome. Yeah, I really like Wack, but Morley is a pretty creepy character. He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I liked his twist. It was good.
Ooh, thank you.
No problem. Caleb, your question?
Yeah, are you currently voice acting for anything right now?
Yes. Let's see. Right now, three shows that are on the air right now. I've got Digimon Fusion, which is on Saturday afternoons at 1:30 on Nickelodeon. I play Shoutmon on that, who's one of the main Digimon. There's another show called Tenkai Nights, which is on Cartoon Network 7:30 Saturday mornings. I play Taxa, who's one of the four teenagers who gets transformed into a giant fighting robot. And also a show called Hulk and the Agents of Smash on Disney XD, which I believe is 11 a.m. On Disney XD on Sundays. And I play Scar, who is, at least in the comics, he's the son of Hulk. On the show, it's yet to be revealed who he is.
Oh. So you're working with Disney right now, so maybe that means Disney will pick you up for Rebels and you'll get to play maybe Wack Returns or a new character in Rebels.
That would be cool. I mean, it doesn't really work that way because I think Disney and Disney XD, I think they seem to be kind of separate entities. And this is really more of a Marvel show anyway. But
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have worked with Greg Weisman and I have worked with Dave Filoni. So maybe they'll remember me, have me come back and play a little role or two, something like that. That would be fun.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So Miles,
That'd be
you want to
pretty
ask your
cool.
next question?
Yes, my next question is, which Clone Wars voice actors did you get to meet as you're doing your or performing your characters?
Uh, Let me just. Oh! I see. Okay. I thought first. At first, I thought you meant Attack of the Clones, like the guys from the movies, and like not too many.
No.
Let's see. Well, D. Baker plays all the clones.
Yeah.
Steve Stanton, who played Colonel Meeber Gascon in the Droid Arc. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a complete blank. You guys will totally know her name. She plays Ahsoka.
Oh, Ashley Eckstein.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ashley. And various other people. I believe Corey Burton was one of them. And oh gosh, James Hong.
Nice.
Yeah.
Corey
That's
Burton
awesome.
does a ton of characters. He main characters like Cad Bane and Count Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's a good dude.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I haven't met him yet. He's one I want to meet in the future sometime.
Same here. Did you ever see or meet Clancy Brown who did Savage?
Well, I definitely know Clancy because he's on Hulk and the Agents of Smash. He plays Red Hulk, so I work with him all the time now.
Oh, nice.
But
That's pretty
yeah,
funny.
yeah, he's a cool guy. He's really really talented, and he's when they cast him to play like as he describes it, and pardon my language if you have to bleep this, an asshole. Boy, he's good at playing that. I don't know. He's really good at playing like the tough jerk.
Yeah, he is like, because his voice is pretty deep and stuff. It's kind of intimidating, especially with Savage and of course Red Hulk.
Oh yeah, like let me tell you something. If I were ever dating a girl and like she said, "Let me introduce you to my father," and it was Clancy, I would kind of drop a load in my pants, just like, oh god, oh god. Hey, how's it going?
Drop some mud
fine,
here.
sir. Yeah.
That's funny. Caleb, your next question.
What's your favorite lines you said is both Morley and Wack 47?
Oh, favorite lines? I don't know. I don't know if they really have any lines that are particularly iconic to me. I guess with Wack it would probably be where he's been given the order. Well, technically it's not really an order. It's a dramatic cry from Gascon saying like, "Just leave me, just leave me," and he goes, "Okay, see ya."
For me, Wack's most memorable line was maybe he's going to jump and put himself out of his misery.
Ah, yes.
I just laughed at that line every time.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I mean, putting a
In fact, I
suicidal
think it's
joke.
that line that was so memorable to me that made Wack become like one of my top 10 favorite characters.
Ah, shucks.
Okay, so my next question is, who is your favorite character you have ever voiced?
Oh, I never know how to answer this one. And the sad thing is people have asked me this before, but I'd say Venom from Spectacular Spider-Man, because
Oh, nice.
he was like one of my favorite Marvel supervillains of all time. So getting to play him was like really awesome.
Yeah,
I'd
that
say
is really cool.
Venom is definitely one of my favorite Marvel Universe villains, but there's so many good ones. I like Dr. Octopus as well. He's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I like Deadpool, but I'm never entirely sure which side he's on.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's a villain. He's kind
He
of
seems
like
he's kind of like Boba Fett, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, well he's also a mercenary, so there you go.
Yeah.
The merc with the mouth.
Your next question, Caleb?
Okay, this one you might find weird. Did you ever portray a bird in anything? Because like every time I hear Moy's verse, for some reason I think of like one of those parakeets talking or something.
Huh. Well, technically, I did play Big Bird in an episode of Mad, the Mad Magazine cartoon show.
That's hilarious.
I've seen that show's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they did the Clone Wars and like all the clones couldn't recognize who's who.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, it's I played another bird? God, I don't think so. Maybe I have.
I don't know why. It's just like probably something in the back of my head. It's like that guy sounds like a bird, but he's a snake.
He does.
Yeah.
A
Well,
little
birds are kind of reptiles, sorta, with feathers. So
bit.
He's a pterodactyl, maybe.
yeah, there you go.
He's gonna
Yeah.
spread his wings and fly. Well, actually, there was a rumor going around that Morley was flying. Like he was always hovering over the ground. He never was really touching the ground in the episode.
Oh yeah. I mean, that could have just been perspective and animation, but maybe I don't know.
Maybe he's got tiny wings and he's a pterodactyl, really, and we don't know.
Oh,
Maybe he's just a dragon.
that could be. Sure, he's a wyvern or something.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Yeah, especially in the Star Wars universe. Nothing seems
Yes.
to surprise you. Yeah.
Darth Maul survived being cut in half and dropped into a hole,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well,
just to be ended up on like a trash planet.
and become half spider.
Yeah.
That was definitely a surprise.
And then, of course, have Morley as his servant.
Yes.
Caleb, your next question?
Who's your least favorite Star Wars character?
Oh, Luke Skywalker. That guy sucked. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't really have a least favorite one. I don't know. I think they're all pretty darn cool. I mean, it would probably just be like some random villain from one of the episodes that we never see again. I don't know.
Okay, well, my next question kind of went with that one. If Wack met a character that you didn't like, what would Wack say to him? What would you make Wack say to him? Now you gotta kind of pick a character. Just like pick a character that you thought wasn't really that well done. Like pick an Ewok, random Ewok or something.
Sure.
Get away from me, you furry. I do not want to go to Midwest Fur Fest with you. Leave me alone.
That's fun.
That's the only furry convention I've ever heard of, and I just thought the name was hilarious.
I do not want to go to Furry Fest with you. Okay, your turn, Miles.
Okay, my question is, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Probably Empire. I mean, that's
Oh,
everybody's
yeah.
favorite, but yeah, probably Empire.
Yeah, that's
definitely
Caleb's
mine.
favorite.
There you go.
Yeah. Caleb, your question?
When recording lines for Wack 47, were you in the same room with actors like Steven Stanton and D. Bradley Baker, or alone with nothing but a script?
Usually it was with other people like D or Steve, but yeah, it's sort of half and half. Like some people just weren't there, others were. So it was whoever was available at the time. So sometimes it was just like for one of the episodes of the Droid Arc, it was literally just me and Steve. Nobody else was there.
Okay, and isn't it easier, like, to get, like, when other voice actors are there?
Um, it can be. It can be easier and it can be harder. It all really depends on who you're working with. Like for instance, when you're working with guys who are like, real professionals like D or Steve or any of these guys, it makes it tons of fun because you're like, wow, I got this great person to play off of. I can hear exactly what they're doing and how my read will go along with theirs. So that's nice. But, if you're working with somebody who's maybe never done this before and they're taking multiple takes to do something that's not particularly challenging, you'll find yourself sort of waiting around for a while and going, really? Okay, well, all right. Yeah, okay. But, overall, really, there aren't too many people like that. It's mostly people who really know what they're doing or who just have a knack for this and just, figure it out right on the spot.
Awesome. Yeah, I figured it'd be easier because, like, you could get your your character's emotion and how it would react to theirs.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. So my question is, how is it voicing Stitch?
How was it voicing Stitch?
Yeah.
Super fun. That particular show, the Stitch anime, this was one of these things where the guys behind it really just didn't know quite what to do with it. So they were just like, okay, we want to make like an English language version of this. So that's all we'd really know. So we were like, we don't know where this is really going to air. We don't really know who's going to pick this up. Is it going to be on Disney? Is it going to be in America? And they basically just gave us free range to just kind of mess with it. So it was sort of like improv theater with Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. That's really what this was. It was just like, let's make him say this. Okay, that was funny. Let's reference Looney Tunes. That's good. Make him sing a Disney song. It's Disney. Why not? It just so it's this like really wacky series that kind of doesn't make sense, but that's the fun of it.
That's funny.
Stitch was always one of my favorite, like, Disney characters.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Caleb, your question?
Who would win in a fight, Stitch or Wack?
Stitch. I mean, he's indestructible. That's.
True.
I mean, yeah. Sorry. I mean, I'd like to say Wack, but no.
Well, Wack's not really much of a fighter.
No, he'd run and hide, and then he'd get crushed.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is, which character was more fun to voice, Wack or Morley?
Morley is probably more fun to voice than Wack, just because of how creepy he is, and what a malicious character is. The bad guys are always really interesting characters to play. You really don't have a stale bad guy too often. But as far as characters go, Wack is just a nicer guy, in my opinion. I think he's just a more pleasant person to be. So, I don't feel quite so unclean after playing Wack.
Caleb, your question?
So how did you feel after putting a suicidal joke into the Clone Wars and possibly the first show aimed at kids and making me laugh my head off after seeing it?
I don't know. Here's the thing. You could say the show is aimed at kids, but I feel like that was really more like the first season was really aimed at kids,
Yeah.
and then they got more mature. So I think they kind of know their audience well enough to know we can get away with like tossing in a suicide joke. It's okay because
a few
it's probably
decapitations here and there.
sure. Yeah, cut this guy in half, slice that dude's head off. It's fine. Because now it's like more TV PG. I mean, right now I think it's airing on like Adult Swim.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so I mean, they figured pretty quickly, like, okay, obviously little teeny tiny tykes are not going to tune in to watch this on Saturday mornings, so I mean, yes, it was on Saturday mornings for a while, but, yeah, I think it's okay. I don't really think there are too many kids crying to their mommy and daddy about that joke.
Yeah.
I found that just hilarious. Like, that was probably the best joke throughout the entire Clone Wars series.
It was hilarious.
And that whenever, Gascon was like, leave me, I'm a goner. And then like Wack was just like, okay.
Thank God. I don't have to deal with you anymore. Yay!
That's hilarious. Alright, so my next question is, who is your favorite Star Wars character?
I'm gonna sound really, really pedestrian and say Vader.
Yeah, he is definitely one of the best ones.
Yeah, I think he's just really, really neat.
That used to be Miles, but then I
Yeah,
converted
he used to
into a
be
Boba Fett guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, yeah, that's a fair conversion right there.
Yeah, Boba is just Boba.
Yeah.
Boba's just Boba.
Yeah.
He tastes so good in so many different drinks. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, Boba is that.
The little
Boba is.
the tapioca
Yeah.
balls. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had those before. They're pretty good. Caleb, your question.
How much did you know about your characters, Wack and Morley, whenever you were given the parts?
Well, during the audition process, they give you sides, so you have copy to audition with. And they also give you a brief description of the character, so it's nothing too spoilerific to like that you can just like tell everybody about and go, oh my gosh, in this episode he does this, this, and that. But it's enough to say like, okay, this guy's kind of creepy, he's kind of weird, he's plotting against one of the main characters to do this, this, and this, So you have an idea of what you're getting into when you create the voice and when you audition for the character in the first place. So I was given sufficient information about both characters.
Nice. So it's not like you're just walking in the dark and they like. Did you know what? How do you know when you get the right voice for that specific character?
When you get the job. No, you don't know. I mean, because it's you trying to figure out what do they want, and then you have to figure out what do you think is best, and then it's just a matter of opinion and trying to hope that you got what they were looking for and you got something that you feel comfortable doing. And that's really how you know when you got it. But ultimately, yeah, no joking, it's when you get the job. That's how you know you did it right.
And also earlier you mentioned something about like early animatics. Do you like by the size of the character? Do you like make their voice deeper or kind of high pitched?
Well, you don't really see the animatics until you've actually been on the show and some animation has been complete.
Oh.
But no, they usually tell you like what it looks like and how big it is, more or less. I mean, if it's like a giant character, they'll say this is a giant character. They won't just show you a picture of a guy standing there and you're like, oh hey, how's it going? And it turns out he's like 50 feet tall with this big booming baritone voice. Like they don't do that to you. Yeah, I mean, he's a pit droid, Wack, for instance. So it's like, okay, I can actually just like go on, say, YouTube and find a clip of the show and see some pit droids and go, oh, they're yay high, so they're not these tremendous, battle mechs. Probably should have a medium to high pitched voice. And this guy's kind of annoying, so like, okay, just kind of think like, hi, how's it going? Yeah. So like that's kind of an annoying voice, perfect. And then just tweak that and make it a little bit more robotic, and there you go.
Nice. So like in season 4, season 4. That's the first time we ever saw like a pit droid talk, and like before that, I didn't even know they could talk. But then like I would have never guessed that a pit droid would be becoming one of my favorite characters. I think like the voice you gave him was just fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
So Miles, you want to ask your next question?
Yeah, I'm down to my last 3, so I'll just like say one, then Caleb will probably say a few because I think he
Okay.
probably has a few more than me. But my next question is, do you think we should have seen more of Wack or Morley's personal stories?
I think I would like to see more of Morley's story, just because he's such a weird dude, and he's this evil snake thing that just kind of comes out of nowhere, and then he gets killed. And a lot of people have asked me like, what was his deal? I mean, on a really, really recent interview that I did about him, they said like, hey, he was asking for something. Do you think he wanted money? What was he trying to do? What was his goal? And it was like, I don't really know. So I would have liked to hear more about Morley. And as for Wack, I think you can kind of figure out where he's coming from just by what you've already seen in the show. I mean, it's like, obviously he wants to be more than just simply a pit droid, and that's his character, and that's kind of where he's coming from anyway. So you can piece that one together.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think seeing some of Morley's backstory would be really interesting. I also would really like to know how he got where he is, and I'm not entirely sure why he's like working for Maul. Is it
Yeah.
like just out of fear? Because I mean, he could always just slither away. It's not like Maul's gonna be able to follow him that well because he is pretty messed up. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't get why he just slithers away, but I just have this like feeling that he's trying to plant something that in the end he was gonna get something out of it, but I have no idea.
World domination.
Probably.
I think he was getting like a Maul to like eat the people, and then he would take the scraps, maybe.
Well, he does do that, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I
like,
remember mentioning that.
Yeah, he does. But then, yeah, actually, that probably is what he's using Maul for. It's probably actually the other way around because, he's just a little snake. He can't go kill those people by himself. He just has to lure them to Maul, who can kill them, and he eats part of them. So I guess that's what he's doing.
I guess so. I mean, on the other hand, isn't he like a gigantic snake, though?
Yeah, he's a pretty big snake.
Like,
He's
you'd think he'd be able to, like, handle things on his own, like, like an anaconda crushing something. I mean, I don't know, but go fig. Maybe people in space or in the Star Wars galaxy are just way too tough. He's ready to run into a Jedi and get all messed up. I don't know.
Well, he did run
Yeah.
into a Sith, and I wonder how many
That's
people
true.
actually land on the junk planet in order for him to lure to Maul.
Yeah. Huh.
Probably not very many. Mostly him and Maul's food just comes from, like, animals, I bet you. And I was really confused. What were those, like, creatures called? They were kind of like Jawas,
They
except
called
they-
them Junkers, and
they were like a
robotic.
mix of Jawas and Tusken Raiders, except they are robotic. They were really cool, actually.
Yeah. Not quite too sure. I wonder if they are just, like, droids or some other form of robotic life. I'm not sure.
You're just like droids gone rogue or whatever. That's
Droids
kinda
gone rogue.
Yeah, it's
Better
kind
than
of a
droids gone
definition.
wild.
Yeah, it's kind of a definition of most of the bounty hunter droids, but yeah, those guys are really cool. Caleb, your next question.
Okay, one of my all-time favorite characters, actually my second favorite character, is HK-47. And him and Wack-47 both have the number 47 in their name. Do you think his programming is similar to HK-47's?
Probably not. I don't know. I think Wack stands alone in his incredibly bizarre behavior.
Yeah. But I wonder if like that was on purpose or if that was just the only thing, because they are similar colors and they are the only like talkback droids, like the only droids that like come up with wisecracks.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe there is some sort of like thing with the number 47. Maybe the writer is just it's like an inside joke or something. But I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know how deliberate that is.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that.
Yeah, there's probably just like a huge story behind it that we don't even know.
Right.
I bet. Okay, so Caleb, you can go ahead and say like a couple
Oh, you want me
more.
to say another question?
Yeah. 'Cause
Okay, who
only
was your
two.
role model or person who like inspired you to become a voice actor?
Pretty much anybody from the 90s who was big back then. So guys like, Charlie Adler or Cree Summer, Rob Paulson, Frank Welker, like really any of the big talent, because that's who I grew up listening to as a kid. I watched Animaniacs and Tiny Toons and stuff like that. So those were all the guys who would do that stuff. So yeah, it made me want to do it. There you go.
Nice.
Caleb, do you want
You
to
may-
just let it go?
Oh,
One
you
more.
may ask another one?
Sure, just one
Another
more.
Another one. Oh,
Another. Well, how many do you have left?
I've got 2 left.
Oh, I got 2 left.
Oh, okay. Well, you go ahead then.
Okay. My next question is, what is your least favorite character you have voiced?
Oh, well, no, I know exactly who that is, but it would not be very nice of me to say that because it wasn't even really the character. It was actually the recording session was one of the absolute most nightmarish things I've ever had to deal with in my life as an actor. And I won't mention it out loud, but yeah, there is one, but I won't say who it was.
Okay. Well, just
Can you give us like a
listen.
hint or something? Because now I'm really curious about it.
Well, okay, it is a bad guy. That's all I can really say. It's a villainous character.
Okay. I know it's not Morley, of course, because you said you loved playing him.
Oh yeah, no. I
I'm
promise.
gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to find this out now. Okay.
You probably. I don't even think it's listed on my IMDb page. So I mean, like that. Good luck finding it.
Okay. So, Caleb, your next question.
Okay, so how do you think the Droid Arc would have went down without Wack-47?
Oh well, they probably would have They probably would have taken one episode and they would have done it and been done. Wack is kind of a troublemaker. No, I mean it just wouldn't have been as as fun, and more importantly, it really wouldn't have been able to challenge Gascon's sort of primitive views on droids. That's sort of like, well, they're just machines, so whatever, that kind of attitude that he has. And that's sort of the whole point of Wack is like, no, I'm not some, broken piece of machinery. I'm alive. I'm important, and I have real feelings, and I have real intelligence, and you need to respect that.
Yeah, I feel like that entire arc wouldn't have made it at all without Wack. Because like you said, Steven Stan did a fantastic job with Gascon, but his character would have had nothing to contradict with if Wack wasn't there.
It would have just been a bunch of bleeps and bloops, and he would have been like, yeah, I'm right, shut up. Be quiet, BZ.
That was a really good impression of Gascon, by the way.
Yeah,
Don't tell
it
Steve.
was.
Oh, we won't tell him.
Okay, good.
Okay, so my last question is, can you please say Ohana means family in Stitch's voice?
Okay.
Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Thanks.
Okay. I think you better than mine. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Wait,
Okay.
it was Stitch, man. Of course it was better than yours.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, man.
Ohana family. Ohana family. Okay. Caleb, your last question.
So my last question is if Stitch and Wack 47 got into a rap battle, who would win?
Oh god.
Oh, well, that one would have to go to Wack, because I don't think Stitch's masterhood of the English language, that's pretty questionable right then and there. But I think
he could own Wack. He could own Wack in his
In a different language.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he could do Tantalog. But nobody would get what he was saying. So I guess they'd have to be like, well, it's just a bunch of gibberish to me.
Well, maybe
Ed Prime,
625
I don't know.
could help him out.
Yeah, there you go. I think afterwards, though, Stitch would probably try to eat Wack. So
Yeah.
no, but
Oh.
nobody wins in that situation.
No.
Ohana means hungry.
Ah.
Okay, so yeah, that's all of our questions, right, Caleb?
Yeah, that's all my questions.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me on your
Oh,
show,
thanks
guys.
so much for coming on.
Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.